All right, so this is Chapter 11, Section 3, the surface areas of pyramids and cones. Our learning objective is that you will find the surface area of a pyramid and a cone. The last two sections, we hit pretty heavy the chapter, the difference between lateral and surface and base area. So we're going to continue that separation, lateral area and base area. Remember, lateral area is all around the sides. It's what you hug. Base area is what happens either on top or bottom. So the lateral area in this case is half the perimeter times the slant height. The surface area of a regular pyramid is when you add the lateral area and the area of the base. So we're going to find the lateral areas, and thankfully this is a regular pyramid, so let's get our highlighters out. And in geometry world, what does regular mean? Do you remember, Owen? Angle is the same and side lengths are the same. So all of my sides, we're assuming them to be the same. If I had a wonky pyramid and the sides weren't the same, we could not use this formula. I don't think that's going to happen in your practice or on your test, but I just, as a responsible teacher, I must mention it. So in a square pyramid, so this is a square, all of our side lengths are congruent. We know that the perimeter of our base is going to be 4 times the side length, S. If the base of a regular pyramid has a perimeter of 6Q and its side length is 6, the pyramid has Q sides. So if the perimeter was 6Q, then it would be a Q-sided pyramid. So instead of a square, it would be a square. Q sides. Okay. So the lateral area of a pyramid is a 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. If you look, the slant height is the guy that is right along the side of our pyramid. It's actually on the face of the pyramid, which is different than the altitude, which goes from our apex at the top to the center perpendicular of the bottom. Our surface area of our pyramid is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height plus the base. And please note on your paper, B is the area of the base. Little b would be the length of the base. Big B is the area of the base. So when you go to use this formula, I have students that mix that up all the time. They put like a 7 in there. Like it's 7. Well, that's the length of the bottom, but we want the area of the base. Okay, so if we're trying to figure out a square pyramid, so it's got 4 sides, has base edges of 5 meters and a slant height of 3 meters, what is the surface area of the pyramid? The base of a square with side length 5 meters is what we know to begin with, and our slant height is 3 meters. We need the lateral area and the surface area. We can't find surface area without lateral. So we are going to find the perimeter of the base. Then we're going to find the area of the base, big B. Then we are going to use the perimeter and the slant height to find the lateral area. And finally, we're going to find the lateral area and the area of the base to find the surface area. All right, so step 1, find the perimeter. We're going to take our side length of 5, multiply it by 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Find the area of the base. We have a square, So the area of the base is going to be 5 times 5, or 25. Now we're going to find the lateral area, which is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. The perimeter is 20. We found it here. The slant height is 3. They gave it to us here. So 1/2 of 20 is 10. 10 times 3 is 30. Now we're going to put it all together. We're going to take the lateral area 30, add it to our base 25. 30 plus 25 is 55. So the surface area of our pyramid is 55 meters squared. How crazy. All right, finding the lateral area of a pyramid. So we're just focusing on lateral. What does it mean we're omitting if we're just doing lateral? Look at our pyramid. What are we omitting? Lateral. So it omits the base. So circle the correct equation for the perimeter of a hexagonal base. So hexagon is 6 sides. A hexagonal base is not 42 times 36. It is not 6 times 18. It is not 1/2 36 times 18 root 3, approximately equal to 561. It is 6 times 36, because each little side length here is 36. There are 6 sides, so it is 36. The slant height of the pyramid, so slant height of the pyramid is the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So you guys see this little dashed red triangle here. We know the altitude, we know the distance from the center of our hexagon perpendicular to the outside of the square, outside of the hexagon. So we are going to use Pythagorean Theorem. So I take this little triangle, I write it right here. Our slant height is the hypotenuse. 42 is the altitude, that's how tall it is, and 18 root 3 is our base. So we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. 42 squared plus 18 root 3 squared square root equals our lateral distance. So we resolve this out. 18 times the square root of 3, all squared is 972. 42 squared is 1,764. I add those two together, and I get the square root of 2,736. That is my slant height. So the lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter, or 216, times the slant height, square root of 2,736. You chug that in your calculator. Please use a calculator. I don't expect you to know the square root of this number all memorized in your brain. Not required for this class. That's for the next class. So the hexagonal pyramid has a lateral area of about 5,649 feet. All right, my favorite shape, because it has to do with ice cream, is the cone. So we're going to do lateral and surface area of the cone. Remember, lateral area is, if I was to give this cone a hug, it's the area I would be hugging, not including the base. The entire surface area includes the base. Just a helpful hint, anytime you're painting something, usually when you go to paint something, you exclude one portion of the shape. So if I'm painting a cylinder column, I'm not painting the top or the bottom of the cylinder column because that's butted up against the floor and the ceiling. If I'm painting a room, usually I do not paint the floor of the room. So anytime you do a problem involving paint, make sure you're excluding the things that you would not normally paint. And if you don't know what those are, please ask before you find the surface area. Okay, so The lateral area, let's get our highlighter out because it's kind of important. Anytime they give us a formula, we should. The lateral area is pi times the radius times the slant height. And the surface area is the lateral area plus the area of the, it's all about that base. So how do we find the area of a cone? He is a circle, so he is pi r squared. So this is bonus. Look, I'm giving you this bonus. So the surface area is equal to pi rl plus pi r squared. That's bonus. So please make sure you write that formula down. This is surface area for a cone. All right. So we have a radius of our cone, and guess what? Anytime I'm encountering a problem, I'm going to draw a picture. Even if I know what a cone looks like, it's always helpful to have the right dimensions. So the radius of the base of a cone is 16 meters. The height is, the slant height is 28 meters. Remember, that goes along the face. What is the surface area in terms of pi? You guys will have some problems on your homework and your quiz where you'll have to leave your answer in terms of pi. So this is a great example. When I'm typing the word pi in as a submission, use the word pi. So if we look, we are going to take the surface area formula, pi rl plus pi r squared, and we're going to plug in 16 for the radius and 28 for L. So pi times 16 times 28. And then for the area of the circle, we are just going to plug in 16 and square it. Then I'm going to do those multiplications. And then I'm going to add, when we're in this scenario, we treat the pi just the same way we would treat an x and add our values together. 448 plus 256 is 704. So our surface area of the cone is 704 pi. So we're going to find the lateral area of a traffic cone with a radius of 10 and a height of 28. And we're going to round to the nearest whole number. We have a little bit of an issue. We need the slant height to find the lateral area, because lateral area is the radius times the slant height. So we have to use Pythagorean Theorem. You guys see this nice little right triangle? Our hypotenuse is L. 28 and 10 are the legs. So we go 10 squared plus 28 squared, square root. That is 884 square root. We're just going to keep it in square root right now because if it's an irrational number, then we're going to have to drag around a whole bunch of decimals. And especially when it says round to the nearest whole number, we don't want to round till the end. So we're going to keep these numbers in our calculator until the very end. So let's put it into our lateral area formula. Our radius is 10. Our slant height is square root of 884. And then let me show you how I would put this in my calculator. I would go pi times 10 times 884 square root equals 934.06. If you round early, so you say you round the 884, you may not get the value that your quiz is going to be looking for. So we get 934 inches squared.